Hello everyone and welcome to Iron Port, where we bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. It is proudly brought to you by Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. This program is powered by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, today's Iron Port is packed with a lot of exciting content, so stay with us. We'll begin with an interaction that we had with an official from the Energy Commission of Ghana. Viewers, you know that Ghana, like many other progressive countries around the globe, has set in place a number of measures to gradually eliminate the use of electrical appliances that are unsafe and inefficient. Led by the Energy Commission of Ghana, one of such measures is the introduction and enforcement of 19 new regulations intended to govern the importation and use of these electrical appliances. Today's discussion will give you the reasoning behind this new initiative and how far the country has come. Take a listen.
My first question would be why you deemed it necessary to come up with these regulations. There are 19 in all, is it?
Exactly. So before we go into the 19, I mentioned that we started somewhere.
Yes.
So in 2005, that was where we came up with the standards and labeling for refrigerate, air conditioners, and then CFLs. By then CFL lamps had come in.
Right.
And then we banned the importation in 2008 of cooling appliances.
Yes.
Then in 2009, we came up with standards and labeling for refrigerators. Now, every other country kept on coming up with different standards. But Ghana had to take its time. We wanted to study how were we going to go about these regulations to understand the implication on the consumers. And then after a period, it took us quite a while. So it's just quite recently in 2022 that we made some significant, strides in terms of the gains that we had made.
Right.
If you look at the graph that shows the projection, there's a graph that shows the projection on the savings that we're able to make and how we transformed the market.
Right.
Clearly, we knew that standards and labeling was going to help us.
Okay.
And standards and labeling goes into demand-side management.
Okay.
It is a big issue about access to energy. That is one challenge in Africa. We are not even getting access to this electricity. So the few that you get, how do we use it judiciously? How do we use it at the user end? So again, I try to always talk and make it very simple for the layman.
Yes.
It's like the water hose. I am watering some flowers in my garden. So the pressure from the water will be very high.
Absolutely.
But when somebody punches a hole in there, in the water hose,
it reduces the pressure.
The pressure will reduce.
Yes. Okay, so the slide is there.
So when you do that, it means that even though you are paying your bills, you are wasting the energy, that would ideally have gone to another person.
Okay.
So when you do that, you are looking at the user end.
Okay.
So when you say, I am paying my bills, and then you are wasting, which is the hole you have punched in the water hose, then the grade does not help.
I think this should be it.
So
the
look at the trend. Look at what it means.
Okay.
If not for the intervention, and you see that the law was passed in 2008.
Right.
But we started enforcement in 2013. And that shows the good faith. The good faith the Energy Commission had in collaboration with government for these dealers.
Right.
So in 2008, it was an election year. Fast forward, we thought it wise that let's give them some chance to run up their business.
Yes.
That went into 2010. And in 2010, there was a change of government.
Yes.
Also meant that we had to give another extension.
Right.
Because we looked at the business environment. Fast forward, it went into 2012.
Can you project it again? Can you project it? Let it be full screen. Let me.
It went into 2012.
So yes, about 2,884,863 used fridges were imported in 2020. 2005. About 41,800 units of the total were seized since the commencement of LI 1932. That's in 2013, and 10,472 10-ins. By the media, 2018?
Yeah, so that's 2016 when we came up with their incentive.
Right.
So when you look at the trend, as I've given you, and the background, so we didn't just get up and say we are banning.
Yes.
We gave timelines.
Sensitizations and all that.
Extension upon extension. And that went up to 2012.
Right.
Again, an election year.
Right.
But you see, because of the international commitments, we could not keep on doing this.
Right.
So the importers signed an affidavit that they needed some chance to clear the items that had arrived at the port, which we did.
Yes.
And so when you look at that, there is a dip from the importation of second-hand.
Second-hand, yeah, sure.
But you still see some figures in there that shows some numbers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you go into the system, because there's an implementation of the ban, people do not describe these items.
Right.
So the data that is influencing international or national policies might indicate that second-hand fridges or air conditions are not being imported.
Okay, so I see 563,133 in 2018.
Exactly.
And then I see total savings. Tell us about the savings.
Yes. So if you look at the dip, the figures you are seeing there is actually the seizures that we had made.
Right.
So it's quite important to explain to the policymakers that this seizure, if you went into the GCNet or the ICOMs, you would not get these figures because the item is banned.
Right.
And once it's banned, people will not be bringing it. They will not declare it.
Yes.
But the seizures actually showed that these items were coming in smuggled forms. So the savings that have been made is about 3,000 gigawatts.
Yes.
And translating that means that
in terms of energy,
the used appliance has a level of consumption.
Right.
That is about 1,200 kilowatt hours in a year.
Wow.
Whereas the new one is making about 380 kilowatts. Look at the difference.
Yeah, sure.
So we looked at it and said, okay, the same water hose analysis. If everybody is bringing 1,200 kilowatts hours consumption of used obsolete appliances, then we will be having a lot of brownouts.
Yes.
Which means the kind of power that will be getting into other households will be dipping.
Yeah.
And so they will end up having what we call low current.
Absolutely.
So it is one, refrigerants, environmental implication, two, energy, the consumption.
Right.
The fact that you are paying the bills does not mean you should waste the energy for your other Ghanaian colleague to get it.
Absolutely.
And so this is what we looked at, and we tried to do that analysis. And this is what we presented to Parliament and said, if we were able to make these savings for just 2 appliances, then what does it mean?
If it covers more,
if we have more appliances.
Absolutely covered,
Because we still have used microwave, used washing machines. All these are in obsolete states. And again, ending their lives in Europe.
Right.
So Parliament saw the wisdom in it and granted the approval of about 17 more appliances.
Right.
And then also
can you, give us the details of the appliances.
And also amended the refrigerator and air condition law, which was passed earlier because of technological change.
Yes.
So when you look at the list of appliances, we are talking about now fridges and air conditions, which have been revised.
Yes.
We are talking about the washing machine, rice cooker, microwave ovens, televisions.
Yes.
So very soon you start seeing the yellow labels that you saw on fridges, on televisions as well.
Okay.
We have the set-top boxes, which is the decoders.
Right.
We have what we call water heaters.
Right.
Water heaters are also part of that.
In your building, when you want for the showers and all that.
These are all high-consuming appliances.
Okay.
So imagine you are bringing the used version or obsolete versions of these.
Yeah.
So these things have been added. We also have the comfort fan. And the comfort fan is made up of the ceiling, standing, and wall fans. Now, my brother, you would realize that the weather is very hot.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
In some days, when you see air conditioning in somebody's home, you say this person is a rich person.
Absolutely.
Now AC is no more
it's
a luxury.
It's a necessity, yeah, sure. It's a necessity, yeah, sure.
And for those who cannot afford AC, will go for the low-hanging fruit, which is the fan.
Yes.
So we have to be sure that the kind of fans also coming into the country must meet a certain standard.
Right.
So the comfort fan is added. We have industrial fans and ventilating fans as well. We have also looked at the industry. So electric motors and distribution transformers have also been added. Because I'm sure you saw the recent crisis.
Yes.
The distribution transformers need to meet a certain standard.
Right.
And that is what will help us. We have also added renewable energy products or equipment.
Yes.
So people are talking about renewable because we have good sun, but where is the quality of products that are coming in?
Yes.
So there is now standards and labeling for solar panels, solar inverters, and then renewable energy batteries.
Okay.
So these are the items that we have added to the list of appliances. And we are hoping that Ghanaians will also be able to make an informed choice and decision. Because our mandate is to make sure that the energy resources that we have is used judiciously.
Awesome.
And that is the mandate of the Energy Commission.
All right, so viewers, the Energy Commission of Ghana is appealing to the business community and all Ghanaians for that matter to cease the importation and use of used refrigerators and obsolete electrical appliances as we move towards more cost-efficient and climate-friendly options. Now, let us pick a few comments from you on the subject we have just discussed. After we go on break, we'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Ato from Salt Pond says, how well do everyday ordinary traders know about this labeling scheme, and what are you doing to bridge this gap? Hello Ato, this response comes from Hubert Insozan.
Good. So Ato, thank you very much, because this is very key to us, and we take advantage of programs like this. In addition, also coming with incentives. I must be very quick to mention that the issue about these obsolete purchasing of these obsolete appliances has to do with price, basically price. And so people are looking at just the initial cost and not the total cost of owning it.
Yeah.
So running costs, operational costs, all these things are not looked at. So what we did, if you remember, in 2012 when we started enforcement, was also to come up with an incentive. So the Energy Commission through the UNDP and the Global Environmental Facility, GEF, came up with a rebate scheme, and the government of Ghana said that bring your old fridge, get a new one.
Yeah.
And you won't believe it. Ghanaians said, oh, this is not possible. It's not going to work. You know. So some Ghanaians took advantage.
And
what it meant was that when you bring your old fridge, depending on the new one you are buying, there is a coupon. Exactly. So we give you a rebate on the new one, and then you are able to buy this.
This message comes from Ohima from Tema. She says, kudos to the Energy Commission, particularly Zan. He has really put up a great fight through sensitization and enforcement, and gradually the gains are beginning to show, thanks to the political will that he has enjoyed. We pray we get the same political will to deal with shipping lines, bullying and unwanted charges.
Ohima, what if I take your number first? By you. You have to say take your number, give me.
Guys, no, I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, for the time, I'm watching. Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Raw 95.
Fill up with Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for a
Choose Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Raw 95. Goyle, good energy. Goyle is good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah, our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, viewers, welcome back. Now, over the course of last week, a number of activities occurred within our ports and maritime sector. Let's take a look at those. The Ghana Maritime Authority has indicated that it is keen on strengthening its role in improving safety standards and compliance at sea. The authority, during the celebration of the 2024 International Day of the Seafarer, met and interacted with seafarers in Tema last Tuesday to celebrate with them and reinforce the need for them to tighten adherence to safety precautions and compliance to international safety regulations. The occasion, marked every 25th day of June, pays tribute to the world's 1.9 million seafarers for their unique and all too often overlooked contribution to the global economy and the well-being of humanity. The director in charge of maritime services at Ghana Maritime Authority, Nana Boache Boampong, in an interaction with the press, detailed a number of initiatives his outfit is undertaking to promote compliance to international safety standards and make the seafaring vocation an attractive one for Ghanaians.
Ghana Maritime Authority, and Ghana for that matter, completed its fourth cycle audit sometime last year. And then in May this year, at the Maritime Safety Committee, after the IMO had done all the evaluations they were supposed to do, they came out that Ghana has indeed met the standards for the issuance of these certificates of competence. I think Ghana is the first country on the continent to have done the fourth cycle of this audit. And it is advantageous because it gives our seafarers an edge. Our seafarers have the opportunity to work on vessels of various nationalities.
He touched on the cabotage law, whose implementation has already begun.
Cabotage regulations is restricted 75% of ratings jobs aboard the vessels to Ghanaians, and then 50% of officers to Ghanaians. We have started the implementation. We have had a vessel registered under cabotage, and vessels that conduct trade solely within our 200 nautical miles and not the international seagoing vessels, to take the opportunity to start the application for the registration of the cabotage.
Some seafarers present highlighted some challenges encountered in the discharge of their duties at sea, calling for immediate attention.
Documents per se, they are the most important challenges seafarers have challenges with. Sometimes you've been on board and some of your documents are getting expired and you have to find a good way to renew it. And I think most of my colleagues are complaining about this. So if the authority can make a system that at least being on board, you can still get your document renewed.
Our job is full of dangers. It can be fire outbreak, it can be man overboard, means someone falling into the sea, it can be abandoned ship, the ship drowning, and even individually, mental stress and a whole lot of things. So what our urge is, we will need more mental support from our companies. It can be in a form of encouragement.
The 6th edition of the Ghana Shippers Awards has been held in Accra, bringing together stakeholders in the maritime and shipping sector to celebrate the success and excellence of the industry. The day was also an opportunity to reflect on the pressing issues of climate change and its profound impact on the maritime industry. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Bafo Sapon, in his opening address, showed support for the decarbonization of shipping and assured his audience of the authority's commitment to regulate Ghana's commercial shipping industry.
We are 50 years this year. One of the key initiatives to mark this special milestone is the proposed amendment of our establishment law at GSA. We do recognize that the global landscape is evolving rapidly, presenting both challenges and opportunities. It is in this view of this reality that we have taken the bold step to revise our establishment law to equip us aptly to better serve the commercial aspects of the entire shipping industry.
Among the notable award winners was Ghana Link Network Services, developers of trade facilitation tool, ICONs, deployed at the ports and frontiers of the country. The managing director of Ghana Link, Nabali Bawa, won the Industry Leadership Award, while the CEO of Ghana Link, Nick Dansu Ejay, took home the Entrepreneur of the Year award. The company was also awarded for excellence in corporate social responsibility. Director of Operations at Ghana Link, Raymond Amaglo, spoke to Ion Ports on the sidelines of the awards dinner.
Well, it's looking very good. We've had the opportunity to test our system for 4 years. In fact, this month is exactly 4 years since we rolled out our system. We've had the opportunity to engage with all the stakeholders across the supply chain, and the feedback has been very, very encouraging. We've received requests for improvements, for certain processes to be looked at, all in a bid to make our process even more dynamic.
Other winners on the day include the Burkina Chamber of Commerce for the Trade Facilitation Organization of the Year, Mediterranean Shipping Company won the Shipping Company of the Year, and Liner Operator of the Year. The Director of Port of Takoradi, Peter Amobediakon, has intimated that the impact of climate interventions in the maritime sector will be in proportion to the level of collaboration that the state and private actors will demonstrate moving forward. He also highlighted the importance of beginning climate action in Ghana at elementary levels like schools. Peter Amobediakon, who was appointed Director of Ghana's Premier Port last year, was speaking on a panel on climate change at the Ghana Shippers Awards 2024.
I think we need to go back to the school, collaborate with the schools, and develop a curriculum. Because it's something that it looks like it's missing, especially in this part of the world. You go to Europe, you go to America, you go to Asia, you realize that these young children are very much aware of the things that contribute to global warming. But for this side of the world, we are not. You see the kids, they are talking about different things. So I think we need to collaborate with educational institutions.
Like the other panelists, he acknowledged the historical role shipping activities have played in the dreaded global climate change and underscored the even greater role it can play in reversing its impact. He detailed some climate-friendly activities the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has initiated to reduce the burden the port environment and its activities place on the environment.
Both ports in Ghana have licensed private companies to ensure that oily waste and other garbage from vessels that call the ports of Ghana are collected and treated properly instead of them dumping it into the sea. Ports of Ghana are known that when you come and the port receptors are not able to define any garbage on your vessel, you will be heavily fined. The other thing that we've done is also to ensure that the marine equipment that we've bought recently have not emit carbon into the air. So these are things that we are also doing. We've also installed solar panels on some streets and some buildings. It's a gradual process that we are going gradually. It started in Tema and it will be in Takoradi very soon.
We wish you all the best of luck.
The Minister for Transport and Aviation of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Fande Toure, has assumed the role of Chancellor
and chairman of the Board of Governors of the Regional Maritime University. He succeeds Ibrahim Silla, the Transport and Infrastructure Minister for the Gambia, who served in this capacity for the last 2 years. The handover took place on Friday, June 28, during the 31st Board of Governors meeting of the Regional Maritime University, where the various governors reassured stakeholders of the school of their continued commitment to transform the school from a reputable academic institution to a premier world-class status.
I would therefore like to see RMU grow from strength to strength and develop into a world-class institute in the shortest possible time. And as I finally do my handing over, I would like to remind the Honorable Minister of Sierra Leone that I sincerely believe we all will continue to render our support to whatever the RMU stand for, and be rest assured of our support as incoming Chancellor and Chairman, the Right Honorable Fode Toure, to enable you consolidate on the gains of the Regional Maritime University.
We will continue to uphold the highest standards of teaching and research, ensuring that our curriculum is both rigorous and relevant to changing maritime trends. By fostering a culture of innovation and critical thinking, we will equip our students with the skills they need to succeed in a dynamic maritime industry.
Discussions on the 146 million loan facility for the modernization of the RMU have resumed with the Korean Exim Bank. One of the activities currently ongoing is the update of the feasibility studies concluded some time back. We expect to finalize the feasibility study and conclude the financing package for the project to commence in earnest.
Permit me to report that during my recent visits at international fora, Angola has signified interest in joining the board of RMU and send its students to this institution. Also, at the international level, at the International Maritime Organization are engaged with the representatives of the hierarchies of the government of Indonesia, and they've offered 50 scholarships for training of seafarers and cadets to MOCA member states.
The occasion was also used to commission a new extended block at the registry, which now houses the newly established Business Development Center, Public Relations Unit, and Quality Management Unit. It also has a conference room and canteen. 7 new vehicles procured for official use by the university were also outdoored. The 18th Congregation of the Regional Maritime University has been held, where a total of 379 students have been conferred with master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and diplomas in various fields. The ceremony was attended by the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai Sr., and the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Her Excellency Fatima Madabio, who were each awarded Honorary Doctor of Letters for their roles in the development and progress of their nations. Addressing his audience, Acting Vice-Chancellor of the University, Dr. Jethro Brooks Jr., noted that the 3 pillars of stability, visibility, and sustainability for the strategic development of the school, initiated when he took office, are yielding positive results.
We have paid over 90% of our debts inherited in November 2021 and pay off our bank overdraft and close that credit facility. May our employees are recurrent and regular and continue to upgrade our lecture halls and student facilities. Additionally, we have worked hardest to ensure that our existing programs become industrial demand driven. In addition, through our newly introduced continuous professional development program, we have become closer and first choice training partners to institutions in the industry.
While calling for more opportunities for employment of graduates, he revealed that every year, 60% of RMU seagoing graduates are absorbed by shipping companies, which include Bernard Schulte, Hafnia, Danios, Royal Caribbean Shipping Company, and Pacific International Lines. Special guest of honor, the First Lady for the Republic of Sierra Leone, Her Excellency Fatima Mada Biu, assured of her support to the RMU in their role to empower women to assimilate well into maritime fields.
It will be especially pleasing if we were to prepare our women students very well for the integrating into and succeeding in a career in the maritime industry. We must also prepare them to face and surmount the challenges they will face in that industry. We should prepare women students to understand that they will confront cultural and gender stereotypes in their workplaces, discrimination, wages disparities, lack of professional opportunities for development, exclusion from management and leadership role, and even harassment in the industry.
Chief Guest of Honor and President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Nyomabuakai Sr., remarked that RMU is a manifestation of Pan-Africanism and urged the various governments and stakeholders to do their best to sustain it in a bid to move African education to higher heights.
Africa's unity is crucial for realizing the potential. Hence, I humbly urge us all to enforce this union by giving increased support to sustain this great university of ours. As President of Liberia, I pledge our unwavering support to the RMU, committing to elevate this institution to unmatched height on the continent and beyond.
Let us now turn our attention to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime-related news.
Denmark-based technology company Zero North and German container shipping major Hapag-Lloyd have forged a new strategic partnership focused on launching a bunker procurement and planning solution and setting the new industry standard for digitalizing the end-to-end bunker planning and procurement process. Through this partnership, the two companies will work on creating a new digital solution that enables Hapag-Lloyd to effectively navigate the energy transition, reduce its fuel spend, and cut its costs to serve. According to Zero North, the solution aims to set the new industry standard for digitalizing the end-to-end bunker planning and procurement process by offering a brand new and enhanced user experience and new features such as streamlined contract and port planning, contract tender capabilities, a true price algorithm, and more. The Zero North Hapag-Lloyd partnership comes amidst the continued digitalization of the bunker market with advances in technology and increasing amounts of data targeting transparent and accountable bunker procurement decision-making. Swedish shipping company Tan Tankers, part of the Erik Tan Group, has taken delivery of the second in a series of 6 new Eco R-Class tankers, Tan Reliance. As informed, the vessel has an industry-first innovative design with adaptive propulsion to minimize energy usage, ready for shore electricity connection, a battery pack, the latest hull design, and the newest and most resource-efficient machinery. It was floated out at Ferry Smith Shipyard in Lier, Germany on May 3, 2024. The company also hosted a naming ceremony for the tanker. The vessel will enter into long-term employment with Prim, a Swedish petroleum and biofuel company. The tanker Tan Reliance will be technically managed by MF Shipping Group.
This is the time for our Word of the Day segment, where we introduce words, phrases, jargons, abbreviations, and terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today, we'll tell you what we mean by bunker adjustment factor.
Bunker adjustment factor. Bunker adjustment factor refers to the adjustment applied by shipping lines to offset the effect of fluctuations in the cost of bunkers, also known as bunker contribution or BUC, and also fuel adjustment factor or FAF.
It is now time for the schedule of vessels that have berth in the ports of Tema and Takoradi and at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This brings us to the close of today's edition of Iron Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Port content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Remember to subscribe, like, and share our videos. Thank you for watching.